me a name!
Yeah, I'll tell your name. Lena Pierce.
Watch Dogs follows Aiden Pierce, a hacker turned vigilante, after a kill order was put on him, resulting in the death of his niece. This of course leads the story down a path of vengeance to find out why and who placed the order. The story itself is rich and compelling, with a couple of twists here and there, and took up about 8 hours of my game time, but at no point did I feel any sympathy towards Aiden. Instead, through audio logs and other things found throughout the games, I felt less for Aiden than I did for the other characters. Aiden is as 2D as it gets, with next to no emotion portrayed with his monotone, grumbling voice. This could be done on purpose to play the role of someone who needs to be as emotionless as possible in order to exact revenge, but it feels disjointed. Also, the character concept is fundamentally flawed as he consistently brings up the death of his niece as justification for the hundreds of people he is killing. I was hoping throughout the story that maybe the character would become a bit more likeable, but it never appeared to happen. Instead, however, we're left with a cast of characters, like Geordie and Clara, who make the story more interesting. The unknown chemistry between Clara and Aiden is interesting in a character development point of view, but it never seems to move forward from around the second act, of which there are 5.
Alright, fine, sure. So about this problem.
Well, that's why I brought the bolt cutters. He opens the door this much, there's a chain right there, I slip him in and snip, and guess what? It's not the pizza guy.
Jordy, the problem, let's deal with it.
Geordie himself always seems to spice up things, however, with well-written, witty dialogue, and although he isn't often seen in the game, he is the most memorable character to me. Once you are finished with the main story, there are numerous side missions, activities, digital trips, and multiplayer to start enjoying too. These side missions consist of fixer contracts, which will have you assume the role of a driver, with the task of distracting the cops for certain reasons, or taking out individuals in certain convoys. There is also a serial killer who you must track down, an underground prostitution rack to shut down, and a few other things that will consume a large proportion of your time. The activities are chess, poker, and drinking games. The chess gives you puzzles that you need to solve in a certain number of moves in order to score the highest score. The drinking games require you to move the left and right stick over buttons and hit them before the time limit runs out. And poker is, well, poker. Though enjoyable at first, I found myself getting pretty bored of these very quickly. The digital trips is where you have the most enjoyment, with modes that will have you driving through the city, knocking over as many people as you can, to bouncing from flower to flower in a hallucinogenic trip. The most notable of all of these trips, however, is Spider Tank, where you assume the control of a large spider and have to cause as much carnage as possible. The gameplay is fluid, with a wide variety of weapons and vehicles. Circle is used to melee or stealth takedown enemies, and all you need to do is hold square, and you can virtually remote hack anything within Watch Dogs. Though it's basic, it's effective. The game falls short on customization, however, as you can amass a fortune by hacking civilians' phones, but yet you have next to nothing to spend this on. There are no vehicle upgrades, and no weapon customization, which stops a variety of gameplay. I found myself using the silenced pistol all the time until I picked up the silenced assault rifle. This wasn't due to other weapons being bad, I just approached most situations in a stealthy manner. Though, if you wanted to, you could approach almost every situation all guns blazing too. Multiplayer is however where I think this game falls short. With only 5 modes to play, it gets very repetitive. You can invade other players' games and tail them without being spotted, or download information without being spotted. Both are enjoyable to a degree when playing as the Predator, but I found these situations, or intrusions, happening to me whilst I was trying to start minigames or do side missions, so they became more of an irritant than anything else. Yes, you can turn them off, but I felt like I was missing out on part of the game that was the unique selling point. As for the other modes, which are racing, and a blend of capture the flag and domination combined, the racing holds its own as probably the best mode online, however there is only a certain amount of racing I can do before I get bored, especially when there are only a select number of racetracks. The team-based mode, which I found intriguing, would have been fantastic had the online been carried out correctly. For some reason though, you can invite your friends into the game, but there is no way to group up or team up with them, so you usually find yourself going against your friends instead of having them on your team. This destroys any form of social aspect for me, as I prefer to play with my friends. Visually, this is the next-gen experience that I have been waiting for. The game holds a steady frame rate, the city of Chicago emits a resplendent factor with its vast and varying zones, from the neck of the woods Pawnee, down to the suburbs of the wards, all the way up to the business districts within the loop. Each area feels distinct and rich. The NPCs you meet around Chicago are also well made, With so many different character models, I don't once remember seeing the same character walking around. All in all, this game does have its flaws, and doesn't live up to the hype that everyone had been giving it. However, it's far from a bad game. With plenty here to dig your teeth into, I'm sure you'll find something here that you'll enjoy out of this title. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. For the full review, check the link below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more gaming videos.